Good evening, everyone. How are we doing today? Let me see. I see a lot of gender balance, more or less here. So very happy here. Okay. Welcome today. This is our first year anniversary of iVenture at ISB, and I'm delighted that Upasana has decided to join us. We had a few minutes to talk, but not much more before then, and she has already told me exciting things, and that's why we are just a few minutes late. So Upasana, thank you for being here. Let's begin by, and we have all together until 6:30, is that right? About an hour. And I would like to make sure that all of you get a chance to, ask her questions and interact with her. So I will not monopolize the time. So if you have a question, please, raise your hand and ask this question. But please do not, today is Upasana's day, not yours. So please don't tell us what you are doing, just ask a question. And so it should all end with a question mark, right? So a statement like, when I was in Kuala Lumpur is not okay. You can say, what did you do when you were in Kuala Lumpur? That's a question. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. Upasana is an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, and a passionate woman who's interested in many social issues. So that's my introduction of her. Let's start with your life to begin with. Your life, UR.life. And just tell us very briefly what your life is about.
Thank you for that great introduction. But I actually want to introduce myself as a passionate lover, because I'm in the healthcare business and there's no other super drug than love. And I've seen that day in and day out. Okay. And that gives people reason to live. Love, relationships. And I'm in that business, preventive and curative. So that's how the whole Your Life journey started. And I'm extremely passionate about healing people. And I hate the fact that I'm in the business of telling people what they already know and making money off it.
Yeah, we'll be happy to take that money off you. So,
well, that's in your hands. I really want to shut this business down, but I'm unable to, because you all are paying so much out of pocket when you reach the hospital and cribbing about it later when everything is in your hands.
So there's this thing called effective altruism that I'm a big fan of, which says that you should not shut your business down. We should do what you're best at. And if it means exploiting people, exploit people, do whatever. And then whatever you make, you share it. So I want you to be very successful in your business. And whatever extra money you make, which is all of it, you donate it to me.
Sure.
Okay.
Done deal. I'm so passionate about it. I will be so happy to do it. That's why I'm in this preventive care business. And I realized that every bit that we are doing here today, me drinking this water is also preventive healthcare. And just doing it the right way is what Your Life is about. It's in your hands. And as I said, it actually started during the pandemic. Everyone was getting influenced and saying, oh, I must tell you, when I was studying in America, I put on the freshman, not 15, but the freshman 25. So I was a huge, big girl. And that time there was not that much social media. There was nothing called body shaming. Luckily I didn't know how to use the internet. So I went through that whole jazz. But then I realized I needed to make a lifestyle change. So this whole thing stemmed from that. And I would get influenced by people running the London Marathon and, people running at KBR. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I injured my knees. Then I realized that there are so many people like me who take inspiration from people that are just out there instead of going to an expert. Then it hit me again. I was like, would you go to a doctor who's not qualified? The answer is no. You always check his degree, you check his experience. Why would you not go to a wellness expert that's not qualified? How many people have asked their trainers whether they are qualified, or their nutritionists whether they have a good degree? And your best friend is not your psychologist. And they can't help you if you have mental issues. Neither can your parents, neither can your chachi, bua. Nobody can help you.
So I want you to expand on it. My wife is sitting here. She's a psychologist. So you just what?
Help you.
Yeah, okay. So, but it's an important point you're making, and I noticed that in the one page that I have on you on URLife, they say mental health is an important part. But you're saying your psychologist is not your best helper. Tell me a little bit
No,
more.
it's not your best friend. I mean, your best friend can't be your psychologist. So
Your
you can't-
best. Okay, I misunderstood. I'm sorry. I
So
apologize.
you know, your best friend can't be giving you advice on what you need to do. You need to go. The coolest thing right now is not to hold a designer handbag. It's to have your therapist on speed dial.
Okay, so you're saying the opposite of
Yeah.
what we. Okay,
And, you
my
know,
apologies.
All successful people need somewhere to vent and let out. You know, so I really think that
And we have, well, you're saying we have been traditionally doing it with friends and family, but they are
Exactly.
not equipped to do it.
exactly. And then
We should
we've
be
been
going to
so-
an expert.
Exactly.
Okay. So would you recommend that all of us should see a psychologist or a therapist on a regular basis?
I think you should see a good trainer. I think you should see a nutritionist. And I think you should see a psychologist and therapist. Like the way you see a doctor. Don't wait to see a doctor. See these three people first. And then if things go bad, then you see a doctor. That's what your life is about. And don't get influenced by Katrina Kaif or Ramcharan's body. Please don't.
Are you not influenced by his body at
Not
all?
at all.
Okay. All
Not
right.
at
Okay,
all.
Okay.
I said, Ramcharan, you're doing a very wrong thing. He's like, this is my job. I said, imagine all those other people who want a body like you. And, you know, they'll be like working out without, you know, they'll just be looking at you and lifting that muscle and pumping and things like that. But, you know, there's so much more hard work that goes behind it. And he has trained professionals behind him. You can't just go randomly to a gym and start pumping. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, excellent. So let me ask you one more question related to this. So you mentioned this word has come up in your life description of that, you know, it's not supposed to be tedious. It's not supposed to be dreary. Every time I think about going and working out, I sort of say, do I really need to do it or not? And you're saying, let's make it fun. How do we do that?
By taking the stairs. They made me walk in stilettos all over ISB right now. I did burn my
And
butt
you-
just got tighter.
And you enjoyed it.
I did. I love it.
Okay.
And that's why I passionately wear heels.
Okay. So I think I'm going to start wearing heels now. Okay, excellent. Very good. So tell us a little bit about your other passion. Your other passion you were telling me about is that there are many social issues you're involved in. There's Apollo CSR, and there are a whole bunch of things you're doing with that. So tell us about this candle.
So the whole thing stems from healing with dignity and empathy. So you can't just throw money just because you're a big organization and say, okay, this is what's happening. So we work with the tribals and we realize that these people really wanted to do something that meant something. You know, the government is giving them tons of money. They're getting free booze, they're getting great food, and they're living a comfortable life, but they wanted something more. So we said, okay, fine, let's get a luxury candle made by these people.
Okay.
So our Chenchu tribes, 2 hours from ISP, are sitting in the forest there making luxury candles that are retailing at $1,500. And we've just launched these, and they have, nobody knows that every forest has a certain scent. So this scent is of that forest, of the Amrabad forest. And, you know, as I was telling you, like how people think health checkups for the poor is hygiene. For Airtel, connectivity is hygiene. For Apollo hospitals, we chose to take care of the forest guards across the country. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, any forest guard can come into our hospitals and get treated for free. And that's what we focused on. We focused on community healthcare, getting people to understand that they need to respect the planet and the animals, to understand that, you know, tomorrow we had COVID, tomorrow some other disease can come up. We need to keep our boundaries and we need to understand our space. I can very proudly say that the tiger population has gone up because of the Apollo Foundation.
Okay, so I need to understand that. How I thought it was Modi who increased the tiger population.
You just got the cheetahs in.
Oh, okay, cheetah. Okay, all right. Okay, I got that wrong. So, how has Apollo Foundation increased the tiger population?
By educating people, by educating the tribes and giving them a source of livelihood and teaching them that use the forest, use it well, but live properly within, the means of, and the government.
You mean not destroy the forest? Is
not
that what you're
destroy
saying?
the forest. Also, the government made toilets for them, but they were using it as storage rooms and still going out.
Yeah.
So, just by teaching
But do you
them.
do you blame them?
So the thing is, I do, because we spend.
That's the best use they can think about, right?
Correct. So now we need to educate them. And that's what we did. And then we taught them how to actually take care of their health, take care of their hygiene, because their mortality rate was around 40. And we really wanted them to live a better quality of life, because these guys were in the core areas where the tigers were actually, where the population was growing. So we needed them to come out and visit those core areas only when they needed to. And even in terms of like extracting honey, they would just put firewood there and just come out. And now with the forest department, the Apollo Foundation has worked towards bringing them out of the core zone so the tiger population can actually thrive. It's a collective effort, but I can say that this was our focus, and we've really, really worked hard to make this happen.
Okay. You mentioned also about the program you have for the elderly, about the last years of their life.
Correct.
Tell me about it.
So what we thought was, we have 5,000 pharmacies all over the country. And we said, let's go ahead and take care and see what's happening in the senior care homes. Because it's a sad story about, I'll take 1 minute to share this story.
Yes, please.
I was speaking to GMR Garu, and he said that, in the Kumbh Mela every year, people come with their families, with the elders in their family, and leave them there and just go back home. And then, all these like senior people are lost. They don't know how to come back home. So there is no space for them. In Vrindavan, you'll see so many of the widows from West Bengal out there. They just want some recognition. They need some reason to live their life with dignity. Yeah. So we said, we're a healthcare brand. Let us give you whatever that's necessary to ease you from the pain. We give them medicine, we give them basic support, we give them adult diapers. Adult diapers is something that we give them. So this is where we treat the seniors with empathy and dignity. And that's what it means. We've come up with a program where it's called Befriend a Gran, where we don't want your money, but we just want you to come and spend 2 hours of your life with them, just to talk to them and understand.
So you're getting young people to come and spend time with...
It could be old people also. It could be anyone, just to come and talk to them, because these people have no one to talk to.
Okay. So what do you guys want to know from Upasana? Please raise your hand. And if you don't have questions, I have many. But yes, please tell us your name and your question.
Hi, ma'am. This is Monica. I'm a chartered accountant. So may I know what is the greatest challenge you have faced, either before starting your life or during when you started your life?
So the greatest challenge that I faced was to make people understand that do not follow an influencer blindly. Follow a professional.
Are you an influencer?
Yeah, but I tell people not to follow
Not
me.
to follow
I'm called
you.
an influencer.
And your husband is an influencer, and you tell
but he
people
doesn't
not to
have
follow.
a nutritionist degree. He doesn't have,
Yeah.
He's not a personal trainer. He's not a psychologist.
Right.
But
Okay.
what we can do very well is through URLife is we can get you in touch with the right help that you require.
So you talk to doctors, experts, nutritionists, and they provide this help through a platform?
Through our platform.
And what is your platform called?
URLife.
URLife platform.
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of help do if I go to that platform, is it free or do I have to
No,
pay?
I'm still making money.
You're making money off me. Okay. So I
I have to
sign.
make it to give it away, right?
Okay, fine. So it's a subscription-based model.
It's a subscription-based model. And another thing is that the first part is the discovery phase, because there's this huge stigma saying that, oh, nothing's wrong with me. I just lost a friend to mental health issues. And she always said, oh, nothing's wrong with me. Am I mad? Why do you want me to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist? And then we said, okay, fine. Some people don't know what they're going through also. People don't realize that they have an eating disorder. I had an eating disorder for the longest time. I changed it. And I'm still working through it. If I see a Cadbury ad on TV, I'll definitely order one immediately.
For me.
For me.
Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay. Thank you. Was that a good answer or not?
Of course, even I mentor when they are in need. Even I did the challenge. They still feel like, why should I go and ask? Even I followed your pattern.
How big is your platform? How many subscribers?
I'm actually launching it now.
Oh, you're launching
I'm
it.
launching it now. So the thing is that we have this huge, we have Apollo 247, which already has the mental well-being experts, but we want people to come to our platform purely for wellness, only for prevention. So Apollo 247.
How much is it going to cost?
So it's a subscription fee. So it's like less than a pack of cigarettes a month.
Oh, less than a pack of cigarettes. Okay, all right. It's not a question. So, okay, okay, all right. Please, let's give, there's a question over here. Yes, Archana.
So, fact that your platform actually involves both mental health, fitness, nutrition, and well-being is, I think, amazing. But I haven't seen anything quite like it. I've lived in the UK for 22 years, and the mental health angle is always missing. So how affordable or how accessible is mental health to the masses in general?
So how affordable is your platform? And on that platform, if mental health was something that I wanted to access, is that going to be affordable, or is it only for people who are sitting in this room?
The question is, are people sitting in this room ready to do a consultation online? Or do they want to see someone face to face? It depends. You know, you can want to
Okay.
buy a.
So give us answer to those who are willing to do it. Those who are willing to do it
For
online.
Mass India, for Mass India, it's available right now. And what I want to do is, my vision is to aggregate as many of the trained professionals as possible on our platform. And that's what I want to do. And so that is for the masses. And I want to keep the price really low.
How low?
Like $199 for $199 a session. And I think that is some, and in all
199 rupees.
correct.
Okay, $3, something like that.
So, and and I want to make it, it's just a discovery phase of someone to talk to, but talk to someone that's qualified. That's my whole aim.
Okay.
And if
Alright.
you don't want to talk to anyone, you can consume it just through the classes that we have.
So there is some stuff which is free, which is just, here's a video you watch and you learn from it. But if you need specific need, then you can book a session for say $199. Okay. A gentleman over here.
Hi, Upasana. My name is Pranav. I run a social incubator, and one of the startups that I support is in mental health space. And it's also run by a suicide victim who, during his around 11th and 12th standard, tried committing suicide because of pressure. And now what he's building is a platform like yours, which is focused on young people. And we look at age group between 16 to 25. And where a lot of young people actually have various issues. And I think it's become much complex than what it was when I was a student.
And my question
Yeah,
is,
coming to it. So you spoke about the pricing model, and we've also tried a similar model for a lot of young entrepreneurs, a lot of young students. So I was just thinking, like, would you be interested, like, to collaborate?
okay, will you talk to this guy afterwards? Okay, you're done. Okay, let me go to the next question. That was not a question.
No, I was coming
That
to
was
it.
a proposition. Okay, all right, please go ahead.
Grabbing the
You have the
platform.
cervical cancer vaccination that is coming, right? So will you be campaigning in your life so that people are more inclined to take up the vaccination, cervical cancer vaccination?
No, it doesn't come under my purview. I want
Okay.
to be focused.
Okay, lady over here.
One thing to convince the customers, and then another thing to convince the people, the people who are guiding. So how difficult it is to convince these guys?
So experts, that's the easy part, isn't it?
Get experts is the easy part, to get people to actually consume it. So I'll tell you my model. I'm actually, today, URLife is India's largest occupational health service provider. So in every corporate, we have our medical centers, and we actually have data of the emergencies that come in. And with this, we've realized that they really want wellness also. And now we send people to do programs, but the consumption is very low. So we said, let's change the model and let's build a Netflix, because everyone has a Netflix subscription, and let the corporate pay for your subscription. And that's the way they can consume wellness.
So that's your
at their own-
B2B model. So
That's
you're
my
going to go
I'm mainly a B2B. I'm a 90% B2B platform.
so you'll come to ISB and say, hey, why don't you get this for all your employees?
Absolutely.
And we'll charge you a bulk thing. That's your model.
Absolutely.
And how are the businesses responding to it?
You know, some of the businesses have been very, very open to this, because we add events along with this, and all they want is for people to consume this content, and we release it like a movie.
Right.
So
okay.
every 2 weeks we have a release, and it could be, and it's not on nutrition, it's on a feeling. It's how to build the trust deficit between the employer and the employee. So it's about these feelings.
And people are consuming this?
Trust me, they
Really?
want this, because let me tell you, what you need to do is to concentrate on improving your relationship at your workplace, because you spend more of your wake hours at work than at home.
And you have good content on that.
Yes.
That will help some of the people who are sitting in this room.
I just gave
improve
a
their
talk
relationship.
yesterday about women leaders, how, you know, women shouldn't be like a mommy or like your honey.
Okay. Over there in the back. Yes.
So let me give a caveat. I'm just talking about from the place where I come. My startup also supports people who are navigating the life and career transition. And my experience has been the biggest problem is that people say they have a problem, but the solution in their head is to go and drink with a buddy, or go for a couple of smokes and say, hey, my problem's resolved. I'm in a space which is very still career and life. Mental health is next step to it. So how are you bringing people onto the platform where maybe I can draw some space from it?
Okay.
So this is a very, very good question.
So both of you are facing the same issue, like how to convince people to actually come and consume this, right?
Yes. And you don't make it a mental well-being platform. The minute you say you're a mental well-being platform, then people take 10 steps away.
Okay. So what are you calling it instead?
URLife.
URLife. Okay. So,
I'll have to draw illustrations of that.
okay. That was a good answer, right? Yeah. Okay. Other questions? Yes, gentlemen. Over here.
I'm Shiva.
Shiva.
Representing All Health. We are a digital health platform automating hospitals and medical device integration. My question is, what is your toughest phase in mental, your personal? How did you come out of it? Did you
My
take
biggest problem in mental health is food, because whether I'm happy or sad, I'm always eating. And I always, so that also is a huge mental well-being issue, because I seek comfort in eating, in food.
I think you're looking at me when you're saying that. Right? Okay. Yeah. Oh, no. I
Coffee, cookies and cakes.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
tea and
Okay.
everything.
Okay. No, I totally get it. Totally get it. So the question is, how did you get out of it?
So it's an ongoing journey, and I have had therapy for it. You won't believe it. I did past life regression to get rid of to conquer this, but it's a journey. And I can tell you that I have changed so much, to actually, I'm a much better person now that I have control over my food and my eating patterns. And that was my biggest challenge. And I'm sure, the trolls that I went through because of my weight and my looks and things like that. But that's separate. But controlling what I eat was in my hands, and that was my biggest challenge. And it's an ongoing journey.
And you don't take inspiration from your husband? Okay, very good. Okay, excellent.
how do you quantify the things in case of mental health? How do you quantify the emotions or bad phase or good phase? Do you have a mechanism for that?
Why are we seeking ROI in emotion?
Do you want to answer that question, or shall we move on? No, we'll move on to the other question. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Upasana, you just said that you trying to replace the professionals for friends and relatives. How long do you tag a consultant to or
That depends on what they need.
relations? I mean, it's about opening up, it's about relations, it's about emotions. It's still not tangible. See, I can open up to a person I know. So how long do you tag a person and how do you measure that?
So that I think is the professional's call. So we can't take that call. The professional has to take the call, and depending on how big or small your issue is, the professional will be able to do it. I have a performance coach. I needed to deal with a certain problem. I've been with my performance coach for 2 years now, and I'm still halfway there only.
The reason I'm asking this question, I just quick clarification, because if I'm going to a gym, I'm working for it. My voluntary desire to go into that room space. Maybe you're facing a challenge of patient onboarding because you're looking at the relation from the the psychologist's perspective rather than the patient's perspective as to how long they require it.
No, I don't think that. Maybe I got your question wrong, but what I feel here is that the time a person actually stays with a professional depends on what their problem is. Like the gym, trust me, if I have a wedding in the family, I go every day to the gym. If not, I'm not in the gym. So, that's how I treat it. And I see most people are like that as well. So taking that as a trend, I think that the professional will tell you, your trainer will tell you whether it takes 6 months or 3 months for you to get to your goal.
Okay. All right. Yes, you asked the question already, didn't you? You have another question? Okay, a quick one? Okay.
So you spoke about two things. One is where you are paying 199 to talk to a consultant. And on the other hand, you're saying it's a Netflix subscription model.
Sorry, the 199 is a subscription where you consume everything.
And do I pay talk
You-
to the expert?
You pay extra to talk to the expert, depending on what the expert is charging. Now, that expert could be someone really qualified or someone who's qualified but doesn't charge that much also. So that depends on your propensity to pay.
Okay. When is your platform going live?
It is going live. My community bit is starting right now, so in October. And people don't consume wellness during this
Diwali.
party season, so it's January.
Yeah, but in India, there's a season all the time. So
Yeah,
you have to
that's why
start
after
somewhere,
Sankranti, 15th Jan is what we looked at.
15 Jan. Okay. So we'll look out for you. A special discount for this group or no? Yeah, go
For
ahead.
ISB for sure.
For ISB for sure. Okay.
Yes. Hi, Upasana. So I wanted to ask, how do you scrutinize the experts in your platform? Like, what is the scrutiny? Like, how do you qualify them?
How do we know your experts are truly experts?
So I put out their degrees, and whenever I speak about them or introduce them, I definitely talk about their qualification. And
But how do you screen them? Is that your question?
how do we screen them? We have, so for every center of excellence. So if yoga is a center of excellence, we have certain parameters that they need to be qualified under. And every few years they have to keep, like someone who's taken a yoga training 10 years ago, things have changed and, they need an upgradation course as well. So either we provide that through our system or through our partners, or, they can take it and then they can come to us. So that's what we do, not only for fitness, but we do it for nutrition as well as mental well-being.
So there is an issue right now in the market, like some of the teachers into yoga or into any fitness training centers, they just get certification on the basis of money. So they will show you the certificate, but how you will scrutinize it that they are the
So she's saying some of those certificates are fake.
That'll be a tough one to answer because, the people that we've had, I've tried and tested.
So she's saying she'll actually try them and test
Yeah,
them.
no. So I have about right now for the number of people that we've had, they've been working really well on our 247
So that's the
platform.
answer. So maybe there is a constant monitoring, and
Correct.
if you figure out that they are not, then you.
But for yoga, there are parameters because we see what they do. We go to their classes and there's a certain way, especially
So
for
she
yoga
doesn't
and
rely
fitness.
only on certificates.
And
She
we
actually
have
checks
our own
them out.
gyms.
That's a very intensive, human intensive. So you spend a lot of work. How
There's-
big is your team?
So my team right now, oh my God, is actually about 1,500 people.
1,500 people.
Yeah,
You pay them well?
very well.
Okay, all right. Other,
And they get great health benefits.
they're better, right? Yes.
Hello, Lakshmi. Thank you. I'm really good. I coming from you yourself coming from a hospital family and you endorse in predictive and preventive health. That's really good. I myself also into the same thing, predictive healthcare, Lamon side. So, and India is more of into reactive, right? Once a person, unless he gets some kind of this is whether it is physical or mental, they do not approach an expert or they do not think that it is necessary.
They
to
don't do
approach
preventive. They do it after the fact. Okay. Which is what she's trying to change.
How do we approach?
So yes, that's what.
So the question is,
How do you
yeah,
fix
same,
it?
is same question that's coming up again and again. How do you get people to change their behavior so that they start acting on their health before they are
So
into
the answer
trouble?
to that is subscribe to URLife.
That's not a good answer, but it is an
No,
answer. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing is that you actually, so the answer to that is you actually know what to do. Okay. You know that you have to eat healthy. You know that you have to eat seasonal food. You know that you have to cut the oil. You know that you have to walk that many steps. The problem is that you don't do it. And the thing is that you want to stay healthy. You're more bothered about your children's mother's health than your own health. And so that's what you need to change. And you need to look at
It's
life.
hard though, isn't it?
It's very hard.
So what are you doing to make it less hard? What interventions have you come up with that, because this is something we have all dealt with, that, it's very hard to resist chocolate if it's in front of you. But there are other techniques you can use to avoid that. So
Like how?
like don't buy chocolate, don't keep it at home, right? My
So,
point is, if
yeah.
it's in front of you, you're likely to eat it. So what interventions or what devices have you come up with that allow people to make that change in behavior?
Challenges and goals, quick challenges.
Challenges and goals. And
So
are you
quick
trying
ones.
to gamify it? Is there?
So that's what we are trying to do. And, short goals that make you feel like a winner.
Okay.
So these could be a 1-day goal, it could be a 1-week goal, and then it becomes a lifestyle change. So we do have that. And that's the whole thing about two things, challenges and community, because you need community to thrive.
So how much data do you have on whether people who do this, do they regress back or not? Because I find a lot of these programs, you start, you lose weight, you feel better, and then you sort of go back. I mean, we battle with this.
But it's a lifelong journey. Good health is a lifelong journey. You can't stop.
That's the goal. My question is, how much data do you have on whether people are able to stick to it? And
Only 30% of the people stick to it.
only 30%.
Only 30% of, but it is our job to keep them engaged. The problem I face is people will go to a movie and gossip site every day, but they won't go to a well-being site. So the thing is, I come from a background that has healthcare and movies. So I'm trying to bridge both together. And this is my experiment. And if I can crack this, I'm a genius.
So you are going to make it fun,
Fun,
and we are going to make
entertaining, and
entertaining.
something that, you all can consume with experts and not just being influenced by seeing these beautiful bodies of the movie stars.
Or maybe the influencers themselves can change and have a different message.
Yeah. And
Right?
I think that's
Maybe
very
Ram Charan
important.
can come and say, subscribe to URLife. Don't look at my body. Will he do that?
He's a co-founder. He should be.
Okay. You also have some more influence on him. Okay. All right. You have one more doubt.
What makes your life unique from
Yeah. So there are other people trying to do the same thing. In fact, when I look at this room, I find that, are there any normal people? Everybody has a startup here who's asking that question. So other people are trying to do the same thing. How are you different? Are you different? You see the word
First,
alternate.
I'm not a startup.
You're
First
not,
of all,
right? Okay,
because
fine.
I'm an established business. I'm India's largest occupational health service provider. I'm already in corporate India. I can tell you in which corporate, how many people have what problems, because they come to my occupational health center with those problems. There'd be stomachache, headaches, and things like that. We have an HRA, so we understand their health. We also do their pharmacy, their medicines, their diagnostics on site. So I have all that data with me. So I'm not a startup. That's one. Second is, the way I'm different is that I'm predominantly B2B. If you look at Cult, if you look at Healthify Me, if you look at anyone else, they are all B2C players. There are benefit management companies, but they focus on insurance and other parts. Here, my focus is only on wellness. It's on community, content, challenges, and consultations only in the preventive space.
Those 4 C's were just randomly C's, or you thought about it a lot? Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
I didn't know why I said this.
One clarification. So the subscription is paid by the organization or
Yeah, and if she goes B2B, then she tells ISB to pay for this thing, the subscription, right? That's what, and organizations are warming up to it.
Organizations are warming up to this. A large organizations also have wallets, where people can actually choose what they want to pay for, whether it's medicines, whether it's health checkups, whether it's this subscription. So people are going to, and this is only $199. So this will become easy for the corporate to actually use
Okay.
as a
This
wellness program.
man has a question here.
So the sales pitching happens at a corporate level. I have not more than 5 people doing it because this is at an enterprise level and we are already talking to them. So the 5 people, big corporates, I hit my numbers in year 1. And so that is my model right now. 5 people do the main pitching because it's a new concept right now.
Is it your own direct sales team or you collaborate with?
No, this is my direct sales team
They're
that I
their
have
own.
with us.
So you have a lean sales force,
I have a lean
and
sales
most
force.
of this is experts.
And most of this is experts. Most of this is doctors, nurses, and well-being practitioners
Okay,
that are on our payrolls.
okay, all right. Other questions here? Yes.
How successful is the Apollo 24/7?
Apollo 24/7 is super successful. I think they're going for some crazy valuation, which I'm not able to disclose right now, but they are very successful. In fact, people are still doing consultations online post-pandemic also. And we've seen that the medicine delivery and the diagnostics, everything has a complete flow and it makes the life of the patient much easier.
Were you able to see some growth or data from rural areas?
So for tier 2, we are definitely concentrating, but it all depends on our pharmacy connectivity because our pharmacy sales there are huge in number. The cities, we've rocked it. Tier 2 is our focus now.
Okay. Yes.
So once the organization pays for the subscription fee, the rest of the charges that are for per session are paid by the consumer itself, right?
That depends on the corporate. That depends on the corporate and how your corporate wants to treat you.
Okay. Have you done the numbers? Is it sustainable?
It is very sustainable. And
How so? So if, look, $199 per session, I don't know of any therapist.
no, this is a subscription.
I understand. Okay. But so you're saying most people won't use, so the numbers are going to work out. So 100 people will subscribe and
It's
only 2 of
content.
them.
It's content. And what people are going to do is that they're going to come in and subscribe for this content that will be paid by your corporate. And then if anyone wants to go further, either it's co-pay by the corporate or by and the employee, or if they want to top up, if they want to go deeper, then the employee pays for it by themselves. That's why this wallet system has really, really picked up in corporate India.
But then I'm worried about Archana's question, which is when it comes down to it, somebody has to pay for it, whether it's coming through my corporate or my own pocket. These things are expensive, right? So if you're going to pay your experts their market rates,
so they are on our payrolls. And so the thing is that it has been successful for us because we've seen it with doctors and nurses in our occupational health centers. And we've been sending people to corporates to actually speak about these things. So, and our occupational health centers have 18% profit margin.
Okay. So something is not working out in my head, which is healthcare is expensive. because the doctors, that whole thing is expensive. You're saying it's affordable. No matter how you do the
Wellness
math.
is affordable. Healthcare meaning
So you're saying because it's preventive?
it's preventive, it's affordable. Now, healthcare is the curative part of it. So that is something that insurance, etc., takes care of. The wellness part depends on your employer.
Right. So you're saying if you are able to exercise and run and do things, that's not expensive.
That's not
It's
expensive.
only when you become sick, it becomes expensive.
Exactly.
So your answer is try not to become sick as often, and then the per capita cost will go down. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that most of the experts are really part of your company's payroll. So how do you ensure that none of them actually start their own side gigs? Because it could happen that somebody is maybe going for a mental health counseling, and then the person says, "For board case, come out to my thing."
It happens in the hospitals with our doctors as well. But the thing is that it's easier for them to work within this system. So we know we've done it before and we've seen it with our doctors. So with the mental well-being experts also, they find it much easier. So I have 2 centers here in Kaveri Hills and in Apollo hospitals as well. People find it much easier to work within this system than call people to their homes or set up a clinic. Sorry?
That would be leakage for you, because if they are actually doing this outside system, outside your
Correct. So, but that's the risk that we take. It happened with our doctors also. So if you see the big hospitals here today, most of them were Apollo doctors, but they did go out and actually build hospitals of their own. So that's the risk we take, and that's the learning, and that's how we keep on getting new. That's why we've started our education vertical. We have a physiotherapy college. We don't look at only fitness training. We are starting psychological training as well. And we have yoga partnerships. So that's how it's part of the whole system.
Were you a really good student when you were a child?
So that
Were you a
depends.
hardworking student?
So that depends in which country I was in.
Okay.
Because
when you-
America just didn't cut it for me. But
America?
now I love it.
Wait. So you did your schooling in Hyderabad?
I did my schooling in Hyderabad.
You went to Hyderabad Public School, is that right?
I went to Hyderabad Public School.
Were you a good student?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
What's the meaning of good?
I don't know. Did you get good grades or not? Okay. And then you went to college in the US
In the US.
and you didn't do so well.
No, I ran away from there because
Okay,
I became
why?
too fat and it was too cold and I just couldn't handle it anymore. And my parents didn't want me to be in a city, so they put me in Penn State. And I just went crazy and then I moved to central London and studied in central London.
Which you loved.
Which I loved. And that was heaven for me.
Okay. So why are you back in Hyderabad? Do you like it here?
So I'll tell you, I went through this. I wanted to be a designer. I wanted to be whatever. But then I went back and thought about the reason for my birth. My granddad had this
Yeah.
talk with me. He was like, I hope you understand that there's a reason that you're born in this family and you have this background. If you don't give back, then it's a waste of a lifetime.
Okay.
And after he says all these things, how can you not join the family business?
So there are people who say, it's easy for Upasana. She was born with a silver spoon. She can do whatever she wants. For us, but that's not true in your case. Your family put you on a tight. When you were a child, you didn't have pocket money. Is that right?
I did have pocket money.
You did have, okay. Swati read something to me which said, you know what, people write all kinds of things. They said,
How would I live? They sent
Okay.
me to college, in state college.
no, college, yes, but in school,
In school, yes, I did have. They put me on a budget and then I
they
used to
did
like.
put you on a budget. Okay.
But the
But
thing,
did you live like a lavish lifestyle or no?
I mean, what do you call a lavish lifestyle?
I don't know. I don't know because I've never lived a lavish lifestyle.
Neither have I. I'm planning to take you to the forest and rough it out tomorrow. Is that
Okay.
a lavish lifestyle?
Okay, I don't know. Okay. So the point I was coming to was the following, that you were born with privilege. I mean, you come from a family which is, has done well, they are business people. Did that help you or did that make it difficult for you to
You know,
succeed?
this is when I wish I had got you my slide, because, my slide actually has the fact that my grandfather is a Padma Vibhushan. My father-in-law is a Padma Bhushan. My husband has 3 industry hits. My mother, the first woman CII president. My aunt, the FICCI president. My other 2 aunts on Time magazine and Forbes and things like that. And look at me.
Come on.
Now, don't you think that those are like, can't you see the pressure? Do I live a easy life?
Okay.
And
don't
I mean, if
know.
I have to fill those shoes,
Okay. So you have mental health issues, huh?
I really do. I
Okay.
completely do. And I work on it. I told you.
Yeah. Yeah. So the point I was coming to was, I think maybe your grandfather said this, which says, if you have privilege, what you do with it is important. Is that right?
With great power comes great responsibility. That's Spider-Man's line.
I thought it was your grandfather. Okay, no, okay, all right. Okay. So what would you say to yourself 20, 30 years from now, when you'll be a little bit older, that, oh, I think I did what I intended to do? What would make you happy? What would the world that you like to see in 20, 30 years that will say that, okay, I did my part?
So one is that first thing is when I see more tigers in Ahmedabad.
Okay. More
So,
tigers.
more tigers, then more happy people,
Okay.
less people coming to the hospitals. We shouldn't have so many
More
hospitals.
healthy people, did
More
you mean, or
happy,
merely
healthy.
happy?
More healthy, happy. It's all interlinked.
Okay.
I started the thing about love and relationships. And I feel that people also need to, 20, 30 years down the line, I think it's more about community, more about interacting more rather than going into your cocoon. So I want to see more people interact. I don't want to see people.
Are you
stuck in
worried
their
that we are doing less of it?
Yeah, it's happening to me as well. And I brought this up with my husband. Both of us are sitting next to each other, each one on our phones. And I said, what the hell are we doing? And we're sitting here next to each other.
Yeah.
And then I don't want that to happen with my children when I have them, or with my parents or anyone else. I want to make an effort to interact face to face. And 20, 30 years down the line, I'm scared that that won't happen. That's why I think we all should thrive as a community. And that's why communities are really important.
Okay. All right. So you are going to call your husband and have him join us this evening, right? Rather than sit at
I'll
home.
have to use my phone for that. So I don't know.
Okay. All right. We had this conversation before that. He's sitting at home waiting for her to come back. And that doesn't make any sense. Right? Just the 2 of you sitting next to each other on their phones.
No. We have a
Instead, you
movie
can
to
come and
watch
have a
tonight.
glass of wine with us. Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay. Maybe we will take, we have a few more minutes. Yeah, we'll take.
Question of what has been your biggest failure till date and what's the learning from it?
What has been your greatest failure, perhaps? And so what has made you really frustrated and you say, I wish I had done it differently?
Actually, that's a good question. See, I could have grown exponentially if I had a great team. And I just didn't focus on getting a great team. Now I have a great team around me and I know I can grow exponentially. The other thing is that I was very emotional with the people that were working around me, because that was the atmosphere about, that was the organization. My granddad and my aunts and all built Apollo, and they said people would retire in Apollo and people would grow there. But the thing is, and I had that same mindset, but then I realized that there's a difference between loyalty and productivity. And that is something I learned, and both are equally important, but it didn't weigh out correctly for me at that time. So now what I've made an effort to do is to balance it out really well and keep a solid, productive team around me with a sense of loyalty. So, the balance was off before. I wish I had learned this before. And I went through tons of training.
Are you saying you were a workaholic and now you're not? No.
I was surrounded by people, who were more loyal to me than productive.
Oh,
So,
People who say, oh, personally,
yeah,
right, okay.
And then,
So now, but you're able to take challenges, criticisms.
challenges, criticism. And, another thing that I learned was I have no ego now. My EA will teach me. And, anyone in my organization can come and teach me anything, and I'm open to it right now. Previously, I was fighting for my space because they were all like, oh, she's the boss's daughter. She's here because of her birth, not because of her worth. And now
And how did you manage that? How did you
It was
get these
tough.
people to
It was
open
tough
up?
for
Yeah.
me. It was tough the first few years. I would
Mhm.
wear glasses to look older. And, the thing was that it was tough, but then I overcame it. And now I'm in a much better space. So I feel I should have conquered that a bit quicker. It took me time, but now I think I do have, I'm in the right frame of mind and space. And that's why I'm ready to take on this challenge. So when you asked me whether my model is successful or no, I started sweating the URLife model because, it's been successful now and I have a great team. So I want to come back next year and tell you how successful I am. So please call me back.
Okay. On that note, please give her a big round of applause. We will call you back. And I am coming to you to watch the Tigers. Okay. Thank you all for patiently listening. And if people want to reach out to you, is there a way they can reach out to you or?
Definitely on Instagram. Because I don't see that, I will give you an email address.
Okay, what is it?
It is, it's UPA. I'll give it out.
No, come on, say it.
So it's UPASANA
Yeah.
at yourlife.co.in.
Okay. And you read it yourself?
It's on my phone. It goes ding, 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 ding. What do you think our husband and I are on our phone?
Excellent. Okay. Okay. All right. We have a small gift for you. So thank you very much for coming. And we are all going to go to the mirror pool from now. And Upasana, you're coming with me.
Oh,
Okay. Or no, you don't have an option. So please join us at mirror pool for a glass of wine and some food. And we will talk a little bit more about I venture at ISB. So thank you all. This was a fantastic. You were very graceful, and I'm happy to hear that you take criticisms well. So you don't have anything against me, too, right? Okay. All right. Thank you.